It's another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of our live Saturday broadcast from InWheelTime.com. Hello, everybody, and this is the award-winning car talk show In Wheel Time, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars and King Konrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us on this Saturday. It's a great day, a lot of things going on here in Houston town. If you live here, great. If you live out of town, well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. We are your all things automotive car talk show, and we're starting a new 30-minute edition onto the show.
We're getting bigger.
Well, I guess so.
We're all grown up, getting to be big boys.
Yeah.
Got to get up here earlier in the morning.
So you ask, why are they doing an extra 30 minutes? Well, we want to give everybody a chance to do a podcast once a day, Monday through Friday, as they go to work. And that's the whole premise behind this. So we give us an extra 30 minutes. So instead of 4 podcasts, now it's 5.
So you listen to us on Saturday, and then you can listen to all the stuff you missed through the week, Monday through Friday on the 30-minute podcasts.
You know,
because we're just so full of it.
Of ourselves.
Full of it, yes. It being the definitive term.
There's that. So at any rate, we thought we'd start off this week with a little kind of a
personal story.
A personal story, a little history lesson. We're all into cars, obviously. And Konrad has been dealing with an issue with his truck. And his truck is a
2015 Ford Transit with a twin-turbo EcoBoost in it.
And it's a great big, tall one. Is it a 1-ton?
No, it's a 3/4 ton, and in Ford Transit world, it's a mid-high, mid-length. They offer a short wheelbase, a mid-wheelbase, and a long wheelbase, a short box, a mid-box, and a tall box. So mine's a mid-mid.
So you can almost stand up in it.
No, yeah, I can stand up in it.
Okay, yeah. So it gives you an idea how tall it is.
Yeah. They have one that's 8 inches taller than mine.
So it's kind of like a Amazon delivery van.
Exactly. Except it's white and it says BG all over it.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, we have been going with him through this
ordeal.
ugly ordeal, to say the least. He had an engine failure, and I don't want to muddle this up. So when did this start? Was it 2 months ago?
It was coming down here for the show. I think it was on the 16th or somewhere around July 16th.
Yeah.
July, not August. July 16th.
So 2 months we've been dealing with this. He has. And so the first thing was how to...
So on the way down, and I drive at speed, let's say. I speed at driving. I'm not real
and he's also a liar.
Yeah. Don't try and follow him through the traffic. No. I did one day.
Yeah.
So I get on the highway, and I'm headed down. I get down 249. I turn onto Beltway 8. And, Beltway 8 is kind of Houston's Autobahn. So I typically do 75-ish, plus or minus 5 miles an hour.
In the right-hand lane.
And as soon as I got on Beltway 8, my check engine light came on. I'm like, what's going on?
It's about 20 miles from here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check engine light come on. It's just the amber light, and it just came on. It wasn't blinking or anything, and the amber light just came on. And I'm going, probably not that big a deal. Probably some sensor failed or something. And, I just kind of hammer down, and I'm coming down here at 75-ish miles, 75-ish miles an hour. And then I turn off of Beltway 8 onto 59, turn off of 59 onto 90 right there by a classic Chevrolet, and I noticed didn't notice an issue at all driving down other than the amber lights on. But when I slowed down to make the right onto Highway 90, I noticed a weird little stumble. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So get up on 90, and I'm doing 55 on 90, which I think it's 50 miles an hour. So I'm doing
something like that.
It's 50.
So I'm doing 55 and kind of coming in. And then I turn on the street to come into your neighborhood. And I make the turn, and there's some railroad tracks there. So I kind of slowed down even more, and the car stalls. And I roll over the railroad tracks, thank goodness. And the car wouldn't immediately restart. It would crank and crank and crank, and it was cranking real fast. I noticed it wasn't cranking at its normal crank speed, and then eventually it lit up and fired, and I'm like, okay, so now I'm not going to let it idle, so I'm going to 2-foot it, keeping the RPMs up, and then adjust my speed with the brake, and I roll into your driveway, and as I turn up your driveway, it stalls again, so it kind of sat out there, kind of catty-wampered in your driveway. And it wouldn't restart. Didn't matter how much I cranked it over, it just wouldn't restart. But it spun real fast. So I knew something was up because it was spinning so fast. Unusually, it was spinning real fast. Well, come to find out, long story short, I had it towed over to a dealership to get it worked on. And
the dealership was ugly.
The dealership, when I talked to them about it, as soon as I talked to the technician about it, they weren't calling me back to tell me what's going on for like a week and a half. And I talked to him on Saturday, had it towed in, talked to him on Monday, kind of gave him my thing, and a whole week goes by, and then like the following Monday or Tuesday, I go by, I walk in, and the technicians has looked at it, but really all he did was pull the oil cap off of it and hooked a computer up to see it. And he immediately says, oh, yeah, we see these. He goes, I see 1 or 2 of these a month. And this is, I'll say, a medium-sized Ford dealership. It's not one of the big honking ones here in town. And he goes, based on the scan data, you lost a cam phaser. And I go, well, how do you know? He goes, oh, because I see enough of these. I know exactly what's going on when this code's set and your drivability complaint. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me what can I expect? He goes, well, some of them, if you turned it off real quick, some of them we can fix just by putting the cam phaser and the solenoid on, and then off you go and everything's okay. But he goes, if you drove it very much after that, when the cam phaser stays in the advanced position, it's dumping so much oil pressure, it's going to eat a camshaft lobe up, or a camshaft journal up. And I'm like, seriously? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, and again.
So in other words, you destroy the engine.
I tore up the motor. Tore up the motor.
And so the bottom line is that you wind up having to put a new motor in it, basically.
A crate motor. So they must know something because they're building complete motor assemblies and selling them for this EcoBoost twin turbo, which is quite a popular engine in the Ford platform. Transits have them. F-150s have them. The Ford GT has them, but not this one. I'd like to have the 600 horsepower.
The basic block.
Right.
Assembly. Yeah.
So they're selling enough of them to have a crate motor for it, so they told me it was going to take a crate motor. Well, I was a little freaked out about that and, kind of trying to price shop them a little bit because it was going to be, in excess of $11,000 to fix this van. So did some price shopping around, found a motor rebuilder here in town, and basically he told me the same thing. And just in my business, I've got other contacts at other Ford dealerships and go in and talk to, be it the shop foreman or the heavy line technician at these
nightmare
at these other Ford dealerships. And when I told them what happened, they go, well, how long did you drive it after the check engine light came on?
Everybody the same question.
Almost exactly the same question. And they said, oh, yeah, you probably ate a cam on it. So, and the thing about eating a camshaft on some of these overhead cam engines, there's no cam bearing. The bearing of the camshaft is the cap and the cylinder head. The aluminum of the cylinder head is what the cam bearing is.
Almost like a built-in race that it runs on.
Oh, it is. But there's no metal change between them.
It's the actual.
It's the aluminum of the head.
Yeah.
That the cam rides in, and it rides on oil pressure. Well, when the cam phaser is advanced, it's dumping lots of oil pressure, oil volume, not necessarily pressure, but dumping oil volume. So what the technician was telling me is that happens, the available oil to the cam journals falls off, you overheat a cam journal, and it eats a cam bearing.
So the bottom line is, after 2 months, you may be getting your truck back on Monday?
It's finished. So
are you, and so is your wallet.
Well, I'll go pick it up. Probably won't pick it up until Wednesday because I've got work. I got stuff I have to do Monday and Tuesday, so I'll go pick it up Wednesday after sales meeting. And
11,000. You know how much the final bill is?
It's going to be $9,645.
$9,645. Well, it's better than 11,000.
Right.
See.
But it's the aggravation you've been through for 2 months.
2 months.
Well, it's the aggravation of how a shop doesn't communicate with a customer. And I was chasing him pretty hard early on about give me an answer, and really didn't even respond to my voicemails that I was leaving. And then eventually responded to my voicemail with this monster of an estimate, and at that point, I needed to move the vehicle.
So you pulled it out of that Ford dealership and took it to another place to do the engine transmission.
Right. And the other place I took it to the engine transmission, they knew about the problem because they do enough of that Ford EcoBoost. So it's not an uncommon thing, but my question of this, and the question would be to Ford, is when the check engine light comes on, typically, in the owner's manual says if the check engine light comes on solid, you can drive the vehicle, get it serviced soon. If the check engine light's on flashing, and remember, check engine light is a yellow light. If the light's flashing, it means turn it off when you safely can and call a wrecker and get it serviced. Unlike a red light, which means turn the vehicle off immediately and call a wrecker, a flashing amber light says pull over when it's safe and call a wrecker.
Even at that,
but this didn't flash.
Right, but even at that, if you were going down the freeway at 75 miles an hour and it flashed, you would think, okay, I need to find me an exit.
Right.
I need to find some place that I can get off. And
Right.
that may be 2 miles down the road by the time you get through traffic.
Yeah, how long does it take to create the kind of damage I
exactly
occurred?
And to me, that
But
sounds
I drove
like
it,
it's almost immediate.
Well, I drove it almost 20 miles.
Well, but even at that, I would, you cut off the oil supply to a cam or crank or anything at 2 miles. I'm expecting damage.
Well, I looked at it with the cam with the valve cover off and looked at it, and it wasn't overheated. It wasn't blued and scarred. It wasn't blued, but it was scarred.
The real question that I have to ask is, with this $10,000 bill that you're going to pay when you pick it up, does it come with a car wash?
Oh, shut up.
Just
you can't drive a mid-size Sprinter van through a car wash.
But you know what? There's a guy there with the brush.
$60, and I get it washed every now and then for $60.
And I think that they ought to throw that in. Just saying. In Wheel Time continues with Jeff's pre-owned car of the week. It's coming up next.
Without music.
I said it was coming up next.
Did we cancel the commercials?
No, I meant that's coming up next.
As America gets back on the road, a lot of things have changed, but not the need for drivers to be safe. With that in mind, it's time to review our safe driving checklist. First, you're in your car.
Check.
You're sober.
Check.
You're wearing your seatbelt.
Check.
Your phone is put away.
Check.
Great. Make sure you follow the speed limit. And remember, law enforcement is enforcing traffic safety laws in our community to save lives. Paid for by NHTSA.
Advance Auto Parts and CarQuest present the inaugural Texas Truck Challenge with $10,000 to the winner this Saturday night at Houston Motorsports Park. Gates open at 5 and the first 300 fans get a free souvenir cap. The commemorative Air Force flyover and racing go at 6. Wear your mask. We've got social distancing and sanitizer. Enjoy dollar hot dogs and dollar beer. Advance tickets online at NASCARHouston.com. This Saturday night, gates at 5, racing at 6, Houston Motorsports Park for the inaugural $10,000 Texas Truck Challenge.
Here on the In Wheel Time Car Show, thanks for riding with us today. By the way, I want to give a shout out to our U.S. Nationals Pro Stock champion, Erica Enders, who's tuning in this morning, and we really appreciate that.
Hi, Erica. Congratulations. A 009 in the finals.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. As I told her on a text earlier, I said, I was screaming.
Yeah, you were at my house. We were watching it.
Yeah. It was,
You were screaming like a 7-year-old girl.
I'm still the 7-year-old girl.
He is.
No,
Ray,
she's not
Ray,
screaming
Ray.
right now. Yes,
Ray.
He was screaming.
So on the set with us with a cameo is.
Sorry about that.
You know, is that your phone or what is that that we hear over there?
No, we're hearing somehow.
So at any rate,
during my cameo,
during your cameo,
I'm going back to my trailer.
Are you?
Yeah.
Please do. And we're going to start this whole show all over again. No, we're not. No, we're not. We've been there, done that. But at any rate, so Jeff joins us, and Jeff is, of course, a member of our team, and you don't see him, but he's sitting right over there usually, and he's handling all of the video stuff. And he is also our tire expert that you do see occasionally. And so we thought, now that we're doing this extra 30 minutes, let's bring Jeffy in. And let's give him something to talk about. So we do car reviews, new car reviews, Mike and I, and each hour of the show. But now that we're adding another half hour, we thought, okay, well, let's do a pre-owned car of the week.
Because or used or an old car review.
No, old guy doing a pre-owned.
Old guy doing a pre-owned.
There you go.
That's it.
That makes sense.
So thank you, and
not a problem.
and we appreciate it. And I thought that this was kind of a cool thing that you're going to do, because we're going to do your car, the one that you drive.
Absolutely.
And they're available out there, and you see them all over the place.
You do. And what I drive is a 2013 Cadillac SRX, and it's actually my second one. The first one I had was a 2011, which ended up in an unfortunate situation.
Okay.
So,
but a good story.
A good story.
Yep.
Yeah. It was actually, I was T-boned by a drunk driver, and the car that Mike has up right there is the color. That's a 13. The first one I had was a 2011, which ended up in an unfortunate situation.
Okay.
So,
but a good story.
A good story.
Yep.
Yeah. It was actually, I was T-boned by a drunk driver, and the car that Mike has up right there is SUV. It's more of a CUV. It's a 5-passenger vehicle. The exterior changes from the 11 that I had up to the 13. Not very much. There were some cosmetic changes with chrome and moldings and things, and a little bit on the interior side. But it was all to the betterment of the year model change up to the 13. Features that this vehicle comes with, obviously the premium, the performance, and then the luxury. The premium, the performance had more of a look, more of an aesthetic look with fog lamps and a little bit of dress up on the interior so far as that goes. 3 different grille styles on those, the performance and the premium
in the base.
Right, in the base. And then, of course, it had 3 different wheel packages, not only in style but in sizes, from the 18s up to the 20s to the 22s. You can get a 22 as an aftermarket as well.
Oh, wow.
Did you have, what size are yours?
I had 18s.
18s.
Yeah, I still have 18s. So, and of course, the brands that come on it were the Michelins, primarily the Michelins. That was the go-to tire for Cadillac and General Motors on that particular vehicle.
Our tire guy.
A tire guy, yeah. What I liked about it, I've owned 2. I like the styling of the vehicle. It's small enough and big enough in that category. They say, oh, it's an old man's car. Well, yeah, it kind of is.
Really, not at all.
No, but you see some younger folks driving it as well. It's a 3.6 liter. They used to make a V in the very beginning. They made 1 year, make, model, and I've kind of taken that in a different direction. That's another story.
He's got a stock car, and he bought a sticker that goes on the back.
It's the V package emblem on the back of it.
The way that worked, I travel quite a bit. The local markets that I went to when I was in the field sales, I would have my vehicle washed, and it would be a Ford dealership or a General Motors dealership. Well, there's one particular time I was in Austin, and they washed the vehicle through the dealership, and the 3.6 on the emblem on the back, the 3 came off in their brushes and through the process. So, we're so sorry, we're going to fix it. And what do you got? Well, we don't have the 3.6. It's going to be here in about a week. We'll order it. Well, what do you got now? We got a V. Put it on.
So we replaced the 3.6
with a V logo.
Yeah, with a V logo.
I'm sure it attracts a lot of attention.
It does. It does. And
amongst the cataphiles
yeah,
out there.
So anyway, moving on. What can use improvement? In my opinion, the front seats don't have the wraparound. They don't have the bolster around, like the comfort, like grab you like a glove. That your make model didn't have a lot of that. The newer ones do. The other Ford products and Lexus products, they're more of a form-fitting.
Do you think that a used car buyer would really care about that, though?
Well, it's on my list, and I wanted to bring that out. I wanted to point that out on things that I see.
But
that's not a handling kind of a vehicle.
No.
Though it probably handles well, it's not what it was designed for.
Well, it's a Cadillac.
It was designed to move people.
Exactly. Leather only. The center that Mike showed you there, the pod is the Q, the Cadillac user experience.
Mike is doing a terrible job in your place, by the way.
That's all right.
What the hell?
Don't worry about it. We'll fix that. Optional things. It does that you can get the head-up display on that, which I wish I had.
I like head-up display.
I do too. I really like that. I've got the
That's
heated
funny.
seats.
I've got the head-up display in my old Corvette. I don't really care about it.
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's unusual. I've always liked head-up display. You know, I kind of had the '89 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme where they first started head-up display, and it was like this weird little box that stood up on top of the dash. But now it's kind of integrated. You really don't notice it unless you're driving.
It's all adjustable, and I think you got different colors in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So is this a long review?
It
has been so far.
How much time I got, Mike?
None.
Okay. Anyways, to me, it's a great car. And price range on this, on the used one with the mileage I have, 110,000 miles, you're anywhere from 11 to 15.
That's all?
Yeah.
See, that's why we do this pre-owned thing, because it's like that was probably. Do you know
30?
No, it
was 54.
I was just going to say.
And I bought it as a demo because of the first one being T-boned and insurance and all that stuff. So I was able to get a newer model. I think it had 1,100 miles on it. It was a demo by the dealership, the Cadillac dealership. Said, "Yeah, I'll take that one."
Well, but that's another reason you bought the same vehicle is because you're experiencing what was a horrific accident. Right. The design and engineering of the car, the body capsule, the passenger capsule, protected you from that accident, even though the vehicle was destroyed.
Exactly. About a 60-mile-an-hour impact. None of the glass broke.
Oh my gosh!
And
are you serious?
Yeah. It was scary.
To say the least.
Yeah, and that person was in trouble for other things, but yeah.
But the engineering of the car worked.
Absolutely.
And that was why you kind of went back to that same vehicle.
Absolutely. So, and I purchased the extended warranty on that on top of the 5-year 50,000 that it came with. So that's important. Do that.
Good value.
Yep.
Well, a great car, and I'm surprised at the $11,000 price.
11 to 15. Yeah, 11 to 15.
Yeah, and that's why I thought it would be really cool to do a pre-owned car because of the price.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get a good deals to be had.
Today, a 2013 is too old to be certified pre-owned.
Right.
But if it was a 2015, a 5-year-old vehicle can still be a certified pre-owned.
Exactly.
Being sold by a dealership, which to me, CPO is worth the money you pay, the extra money you pay for it.
There are companies that will do it under 10 and less than 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So would you please go over there and fix the video, because Mars clearly has no clue what he's doing over there. Hey, you got something ugly or nice to say about our show?
Who cares?
Perhaps you're still ticked off about getting ripped off somewhere. Well, we want to hear about it and share it with you. All you have to do is shoot us an email with the gripe information. Send it to info@inwheeltime.com. A splash and go. And we're back with Konrad's This Week in Auto History. No, we're not that. We're going to do national racing. We've got a preview of what's coming up this weekend around the world, so I invite you to stay tuned with that.
I'm going.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part. Because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey, thanks for joining us today on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Really appreciate it. We're going to take a look at some national racing events, and I guess they also include global events as well, but I don't know whether you've got any of those today.
Yeah, well, I've kind of a little bit. So looking at, well, you know, I don't do too much international stuff, but we're going to talk a little bit about the 24 Hours Le Mans is coming up on the 19th of October.
I think it's Le Mans.
Le Mans.
Le Mans.
There's an S at the end of it.
I know, but
it's French.
Le Mans.
It's French. Okay, so the 24-hour du Le Mans.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Never mind.
Is coming up, and that's always going to be fun, and that's going to be on September 19th. On October 2nd, the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, race number 2. So this is the old Formula One circuit where they go clockwise around Indianapolis on the road circuit. And the race that's going to support that is going to be the International GT Challenge, which is going to be all the GT cars, the Porsches, the Audis, the Bentleys, and all of those types of McLarens and Ferraris and stuff. They'll be the support race for that, and that'll be also on October the 2nd. Formula One this weekend is in the Tuscany Grand Prix at the Mugello circuit. And I'm sure the Italians say it's something different, but hey, this is Texas. And this is the second week in a row that Formula One's been in Italy, and you've kind of watched that F1 due to COVID has duplicated the cities that they're in, because it means that they have to move around a little bit less. October 2nd, NASCAR is at Talladega, which is always a great race, one of the big super speedway races. On the 10th of, October 9th, NHRA is going to be back at Charlotte, and I'm not real sure if that's on schedule or not. I know that NHRA has dumped a couple of races, and they're picking up races, and they're still messing around with the schedule.
Trying to get to what they can do.
But we're glad to say that NHRA is coming back to Houston, and they're going to have the NHRA Spring Nationals in October.
That's right.
October 23rd through 25th at Houston Raceway Park. And from what Mars was telling us before the show, they're going to have a huge sportsman contingent coming to the event. And I would imagine that the Emmons brothers will be back.
We're going to have them on, by the way.
Later in the show.
Yeah.
That's going to be a hoot. And then IMSA is on October the 9th as well, is going to be and do the Charlotte Road Course. And that's pretty much it for national racing.
Well, that's just great.
As you're staring at your computer trying to figure out what song is next. Don's trying to rebuild the show while we're doing the show.
Well, I am, actually, and I have to tell you that I'm doing a terrible job at it.
Well, one of the things I learned this week is General Motors is teaming up with Uber to help accelerate Uber's rideshare and the rideshare industry to transition into all-electric, zero-emissions vehicles by offering the drivers on the Uber platform special pricing on the purchase of new electric vehicles.
I can kind of see that, but the problem is still the range and the charging.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're driving Uber, my experience, Lyft or whoever, you know, you call them, they come, they give you a ride. It's a short ride, 5-10 miles, whatever, maybe even 20 out to the airport. And then they got to pick up somebody else, hopefully that's close. Well, at some point in time, they got to stop and charge it. And when they stop to charge it, they're not working. They're done.
There's a lot more going on with Uber and Lyft, especially out in California, and it has implications or could have implications here. And I've got a story about that, and I'm going to tell you about that next
Ooh, a
hour.
teaser.
It is a teaser. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, thanks for checking us out. Don Armstrong saying be sure and join us live every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on YouTube, Facebook, and InWheelTime.com. Our podcasts are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. We'll see you next time.